Welcome back. Yes, indeed. Now we're talking about the forthcoming Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi governorship elections. And we've got Chief Peter Ame here with us. He is the former chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council. Good morning, and thank you for coming on today.
Good morning, Chairman. Thanks.
So, INEC released the published a statement, a press release, raising some concerns about this forthcoming Bayelsa, Imo, and governorship elections, about preparations on this matter. So some of the two key areas which they did highlight is one of which is the upload of the list of party agents by all political parties. The Commission says that it notified political parties in terms of what is expected of them, which that actually started on the 24th of August. So, however, despite this notice and subsequent reminders, political parties are yet to substantially comply by submitting the list of their agents for Bayelsa, Imo, and Kogi State. Only 55% of the expected total of 189,180 polling units have been uploaded to the designated INEC portal. Specifically, they went ahead and broke it down. So, 29,248 out of the expected 40,372. That's about 72% for Bayelsa State. And then you get to see 51,681 out of the 85,644. That's 60.3% for Imo State. And then you get to see 23,720 out of the 63,144. That's 37.6% for Kogi State have uploaded this list of party, party agents. So this is contrary to what the Commission expects of them. And then it goes on to say, similarly, only 25.1% of the expected 15,804 coalition agents in 3 states have been uploaded. That's 1,246, that's about 26%, out of 4,806 for Bayelsa. And then 1,638, that's 27.3%, out of the 5,994 for Imo. And then 1,095, that's 21.9%, out of the 5,004 for Kogi State. So the Commission says these numbers are grossly discouraging, but they were quick to say that they're further reminding political parties that the portal will automatically shut down at midnight, Thursday, 10th October. There shall be no extension. Consequently, all parties sponsoring candidates for the elections that are yet to upload the list of their agents should do so before the deadline for the exercise. They went ahead and raised security concerns, for these states that I think is almost becoming a common feature now, security concerns by the Commission. But first of all, let's talk about this now. This result, this response here from the Commission. They themselves say they are hugely disappointed in spite of the several meetings that they've had with the Commission. What do you think could have informed this?
Thank you very much. Good morning, Nigerians. I think INEC think all the time that it has expectations of political party to work in line with the regulation and regulation and conduct of elections that has been stipulated in the guidelines of INEC for 2022. INEC that is captured in part 1, page 7, and number 9, and 11, and 10. For INEC, think that these expectations that it has of political party must be met at all costs, and because it's necessary for us to have a credible and transparent election that will represent the true wishes of the people. Yeah. But INEC has also forgotten that the political party has expectations of INEC. Expectations of INEC in the sense that if elections are manipulated, if elections are rigged, if elections are not conducted transparently, it weakens the fabric of the political party's interest to be able to speak to citizens, to have interest, to participate, to come forward, to bring their passport or their names to be filled as polling unit agent. Because the people, when they are broken, when they are disappointed in the system, you find out that their interest is no longer there. Look at 2023 election. People were offering themselves to be polling agents, to be coalition officers for political party. People were running around looking at their own money, using their own money to snap passports. But today, the political party are struggling under the dark shadow of citizens' lack of interest in the political system, citizens' lack of confidence in the electoral process. So it is not only INEC that should be having expectations of political party. Political party also have expectations of INEC. And if the both sides are not working in line with the regulations as INEC has already enshrined in its own guidelines, if they are not working in that line, then there's effect that you will have negative tendencies on the conduct of election and the interest of Nigerians to participate freely and with buoyant interest.
But one would have thought that political parties, these polling agents that the commission is asking for, they are party members, not regular Nigerians.
Of course.
So how is this apathy a result of what you've spoken about?
They are party members who belong to a political party, who participate in the election, who felt these processes were not transparent enough to favor the interest of their parties. Who felt that elections are no longer, true representations of those who go to the ballot to cast one man, one vote. So these are the challenges. The more, like I said several times, the voter apathy you experience on election day is the same thing you experience when it comes to citizen participation in the electoral process. It's the same thing. Because if citizens don't have interest, if they don't believe that what they are going to do will enrich or contribute to the growth or transparent process of the conduct of election, they feel there's no need.
So political parties, because time and again we hear parties tell us, look, they are always optimistic that they will win the elections. So is it that optimism now it doesn't trickle down to the members as agents, it only rests with the principal, the candidates who are vying for those offices?
The candidate could be optimistic. You don't contest the election, you don't put your resources in an election, especially in a client where, the person contesting will almost bring half of the money, where people don't support. Except the only time we've seen the difference, I've been in the system for a very long time, the only time we've seen difference when citizens were, very interested in putting their money in an election was in 2023. Before you have to run around to talk to them and make them interested. So candidates must have interest, and hoping that things will turn out right. But the expectations of those who participate in the process, especially citizens who determine the outcome of an election, who should determine the outcome of an election, is different. You can't put them on the same pedestal. But one thing I want to say is that I think parties are really interested and they are struggling with the current realities of our system to try to want to do the right thing. And I know that polling unit agent is very critical. But let me tell you, how do you now say polling unit agent is critical? INEC was getting it right. In Ondo Edo election, the last one before the one that we're going to conduct, INEC saved the electoral process by making sure that elections are transmitted electronically via the beavers to the IRF. Yeah. And that brought a lot of security to the process, because where our elections start to experience the thuggery you've seen, the violence is seen, is because people think that when election result is being transported physically from a polling unit to a collation center, those who have power, those who can enlist how they call it, employ those who can create violence, who have capacity to create disrupt the system, they will now hijack that electoral ballot papers on the way to the collation center. And that's where the heightened interest of violence comes in. Okay. But if INEC goes ahead to do what is necessary and what has been, what has been written in their guidelines and regulations, then it will be easier to transmit that result from polling unit, and it will reduce the level of violence in our electoral system and also increase the interest of the people in participating in the process.
Now, about this participation and then the morale of which this list is being affected, but, for different states, some of them are governed by PDP, APC, these are the ruling parties. And so you'll expect that at least enthusiasm in some of those states shouldn't be this low, given that they have their parties who are in power. So is it that this optimism and this, at least, lack of enthusiasm is also affecting those parties who even won the elections?
Those parties that are in government have always preferred the system. That is the truth from 1999 indeed. And that's why our multi-party democratic system had not flourished or expanded, to the level it was, the level of expectation by our founding fathers in the 1999 Constitution. See, one thing you should know, that no political party can boast of having members that can elect him into office. No political party. The electorate is totally different from the members of political party. If we put political party membership under scrutiny, You can't say those who elect the candidate were all members of the political party. It's not true. The truth is that there are citizens whose lives are affected by the decision of those who get into government. They don't belong to a political party, but they belong to a political system that we're operating just like what we have today, and they go to vote in the line of that interest of those who they feel will get into government and protect the Constitution, act in line with the Constitution, and also create an enabling environment for businesses and how they call it investment to thrive. So those are one of the issues that we have in our system. So you can't say that the citizens have lost, how they call political parties are not having the same enthusiasm. It's in fact that the citizens, majority of them, have lost hope and have lost interest in the transparent process to which elections should be conducted.
So is that to say that what INEC has spoken about now, it will be difficult to remedy it or get at least 90%, if not 95%, as they want?
All I would do is to encourage the parties and encourage Nigerians, because the system can't change itself. We must continue to act in the right direction. We must continue to do the right thing. Polling agents act, in a they play a very critical role in making sure that the votes of every political party, is effectively or to a level protected, from being stolen. Because at the end of the day, the Form EC8A that will be given at the polling unit will be given to the polling unit agent. And that's why I think that they should do everything possible to try to, encourage both citizens that they feel will participate, how they call it, communities and people they know that can speak to these people to get this form uploaded so that, we can have a more effective electoral process.
Ayo, Buki.
Mr. Ahmed, good morning from Lagos. I'm wondering, do you think that it's the same problem bedeviling the electorate where we're now having, very serious fears about voter apathy is the same that is now bedeviling party agents, with the political parties not yet fulfilling the expectation, of INEC as far as the supply of political party agents is concerned?
Yes, I believe so. At the time where we're at the aim of affairs, running political parties in Nigeria, we used to have difficulties in speaking to, how they call it, electorate to believe that our parties, that are not in government, that don't have access to public resources, that can't manipulate the process to get to win, should have them as polling agents that they tell you, to what end, so the people lost hope. But immediately INEC started giving hope to the electorate. Immediately INEC started, introducing technology into our electoral process that was, that was looking more like there was hope. People woke up. There was a resurgence. People woke up. People were very interested in the process. And I can tell you, if you take statistics and you do a survey in the 2023 election, you'll find out the interest of what people had in 2023, even with the CVR, continual voter registration, that I've never experienced before, the level of people who came in, you will see that it was all geared towards the fact that elections will be conducted on the promises made by INEC, that the election will be conducted on the regulations and guidelines 2022 as brought out and signed by the Commission. So, and when that failed, citizen interest we nosedive. And when that citizen interest nosedive, it affects all areas of election. Election is a pre, during, and post, activity. It's not just, election is not just a one-day affair. There's a pre, and there's a during, and there's a post. So it does build up. You now start to see those challenges that people no longer believe that whatever they do or whatever decisions they take will have a positive effect or change the outcome of the election, that those who vote no longer determine who elect those people, but it's those who count the vote. So these are the challenges that the system is having. I believe also, like I said, political parties also have expectations of INEC, and that expectations, that INEC has a political party. If both of them come on two sides, in meeting that expectation, I believe it will be better for our democratic process.
Now, you've re-emphasized time and again the expectations that political parties have of INEC, but we can't take off of our minds that concern that INEC is overburdened, with conducting elections, with ensuring the process is seamless, and of course also working with security agents to also ensure the peace of the elections. Talk less of the prosecution of electoral offenders. Should INEC also, how should we take this burden off of INEC such that, the major expectations can be met without the quantum, the volume of responsibility placed on it?
I think those who've watched my activities over the years, I've always stood on the side that INEC should be unbundled. INEC is overburdened. INEC is carrying too much load on his head. INEC is responsible for registration of political parties, for monitoring of political parties' internal activities, for engaging with political parties. INEC is also responsible for delineation, to create constituency, to do all this sort of thing. INEC is responsible to take legal actions against those who have conducted themselves against the rule of law during the conduct of our elections. INEC is also responsible for try to conduct election itself. So there are two. If you look at Justice Uweo panel, and a lot of things, a lot of recommendation was done there. I think when people are outside government and when they're inside government, the decisions are different. Because Festus Okoye, when he was still in civil society, and I was Secretary General of Interparty Advisory Council, we met in Port Harcourt, and we did what we call electoral amendment. And he was the one who was moderating this, and we agreed that INEC should be unbundled. We also agreed that there should be a political party regulation and management commission. We agreed that there should be electoral violence commission that deals with electoral violence. And because if you don't have that, INEC cannot be. What are the statistics of prosecution that INEC has carried out successfully over the years of the conduct of election? You can see it up to zero. And you find out that those who are in government, because the attorney generals of the state have knowledge prosecute powers to be able to withdraw case of electoral violence, especially when it deals with their own parties, you find out nothing of such have been successful. So we believe that unbundling of INEC to have election commission that is solely responsible for just conduct of elections. And then you have political party regulation and management commission that will be responsible for registering political party, managing political party, and looking at how political party functions in line with regulations that are supposed to make them function effectively. Then you also have election offenses commission, which will be dealing specifically with those who have taken into their powers into their hands to manipulate our electoral system, to steal the vote of the people, to create thuggery in the process, and then create violence that will affect the lives of those who are, to carry out functions of election. So it is important that we do an all-encompassing review of the commission, and then break the commission, and then give the commission the name that it suits it. Independent National Electoral Commission. Let it just stay for the conduct of election. Let it not overburden itself with a lot of other things. So in that case, the commission is actually different from the INEC chairman, because the commission, it consists of national electoral commissioners that they sit, I think it's on Wednesday also or Thursday, and then take decision of how the commission should function. And that will help go a long way to help the conduct of our election to have more, take off more burden from INEC. And INEC will have a focus, a thin-line focus of what to do when it comes to conduct of election. And it's also important that we need to remove the appointment of INEC from the hand, because any president that is contesting the election today is contesting with other candidates of political party, and is playing at a higher level from other candidates of political parties, because he is the one that the appointing authority always have a say. Look, we can't take democracy from America or from anywhere and then act in line with those people act. The institutions were already strong. The institutions are taking so many years to establish. So we must redefine democratic processes, democratic functions in line with the attitude of our politicians, and then make sure that it works in a way that the interest of our people is at the top-notch level of whatever decision that we're taking. That's why we need to make sure whoever will be responsible to appoint the INEC chairman must be the people, in the sense that we can let the National Judicial Council, put out a notice to Nigerian public. Because if you look at the Attorney General of States in America, most of them are elected. They're elected so that they can function in line with the people. We can also have a local breed process of how our electoral commission is arranged. They put out a notice to Nigerian public. People put in the application. They shortlist about 5 people. Take it to the National Assembly. The National Assembly consists of a lot of people. So you are not going to be beholden to 360 to 109 senators. You are not going to be beholden to all of them at once. That would be so obvious, because, and there will be a clause that for INEC chairman to be removed. When you follow that process, that 3 will be forwarded by the NJC to the National Judicial, to the National Assembly. The National Assembly will review it, and then it goes to be cast on the floor of the House, and then one of them will be elected. And when they're elected, they resume as the chairman of the commission. The same goes for members of the commission.
That's as
and that
lucid.
is done successfully.
Yes, that's as lucid as it can be, and we hope that the National Assembly can take a cue from it and prioritize, you know, that amendment of the Commission in this 10th Assembly. But amid all of these concerns, has the purpose of this conversation perhaps been defeated? You know, with the charged political atmosphere in Kogi and Imo State, to be precise, how optimistic are you that there'll be any significant difference from the narrative that will come out of that process, apart from concerns of security and ballot box snatching?
I think, you know, the governors are the most, you know, difficult. I call them emperors. Nobody shares power with them in the state. They have total control of power in the state. The state assemblies are in the vegetative state. They are spineless bootlickers. They don't take any decision against the governor. And you find out that even the traditional rulers can be removed by the local government chairman. And then the judicial system can be starved of funds. So the governors are totally, I could call it, strangulating the state's they call democratic processes. And they are so determined to always return wherever they want. So it is, I think basically for me, it is because of the state governors and how they manipulate power and how they use power to, you know, to its full potential, like 100%, you know, because power is not used that way. That is why I really feel that the electoral system must be really amended to help put and call these people to order. And because without that, there's nothing really anybody can do.
Even if, Mr. Ahmed,
you know,
just a second, on that issue,
take it and run with
my
it.
apologies for butting in, on that issue that you just raised, even if the laws were amended and everything else is done, it comes back to the people, the political actors. Part of the comments that the INEC statement says is that the commission, that's INEC, has constantly called on parties to rein in their supporters from actions capable of jeopardizing the peaceful conduct of elections in Nigeria. You've administered a pack of political parties before, so how easy or difficult is that? Why is that such a challenge?
You are trying to look at the outcome of how they call it, a very rooted, you know, I don't want to use disease. That's what you're looking at. You know, it's not a challenge for political parties. As soon as, you know, they were issue-based, you know, we can't go to issue-based, we can't run away from because of mudslinging, name-calling, and because the people are not tailoring this thing to telling the people what to do. And that's why you find out people get to power and they don't know what to do because they don't have to say anything. Or they need to insult themselves, insult their opponent, and then, you know, find a way to get to power. So if these things, if you don't have a credible electoral process, sincerely speaking, well, there's no way you can rein in
Mr. May, at the end of the day, on that same issue,
there will not be power articulation.
On that same issue, at the end of the day, no matter what the process is, it is people that are going to run it. It's people that we have in INEC, and we are calling INEC to order. It is people that we have in the National Assembly who will amend the laws. But it is also people that will execute that law that you are asking to be amended. So, and the major actors in the electoral process are political parties, also made of, guess what? People. So, if the political parties do not have that culture of peace, of going into elections with peace in mind and with the genuine interest of the people, no matter what laws we come up with, how is it going to make any difference? So it goes back to how the political parties themselves are able to rein in their supporters, because we don't have these quarrels at the top. It's always at the bottom of the rung. So how do we ensure that political parties get the memo to administer themselves, to coordinate themselves in a way that fosters peace and encourages people to come out to vote?
See, our party system is broken. If you look at First and Second Republic, when you come to meetings, the party chairmen are the leaders of their parties because the money comes from people, market women, people contribute money to the management of a political party. And that's the party chairman has an independent fund from where he works to determine what, you know, parties should do. But if you go to state right now, the governors are the leaders of their party. If you come to the federal, the president is the leader of the party because they bring funding, they bring money, whether it is legal or illegal, I don't know. But they bring a lot of money into the system. They determine how the function of the National Working Committee for Act, And if a governor wakes up, he doesn't like his state chairman, he can remove him. If a president wakes up, he doesn't like his national chairman, he can remove him. Where you have, you could say you have some level of internal democratic process is when people are not in power. When they're in power, those who are in power then start to manipulate the electoral system, start to manipulate the party management system. See, we must, first of all, give independence to certain organizations that are involved in the conduct of election. Then we also help the party system to get stabilized and get some level of independence from the caprice and wings of those who gets into power and think that power itself is what they want. And that's why you don't see policies, you don't see articulations of goals or how people want to function. So if you say that parties can rein in their supporters and the governor who is running under the platform of the party and say, no, these are my supporters, and I have the resources to push them, that's a problem. You can't say that law is not enough. Law has helped to progress our electoral process to a certain level, but it was, truncated at the term of, how they call it, delivery.
So it goes back to that same issue. Now, I mean, you've recommended that political parties. Sincere apologies, Jemele. Let me just put this one in. So you're talking about us, having this conversation with political parties, with the National Assembly to amend the laws. That's fine. But how about having a kind of conversation with political parties, with the major political actors, the political gladiators, so that they will be able to understand what you said about the First Republic and the Second Republic, where the party leaders were not the ones going into the polls. The administration of the political parties are independent from the people that have been employed through the ballot box. How do we get back to what we had then that worked well for us?
Look, maybe you just know, from the first explanation, as soon as we started with Chamberlain here, I told you, I said in 2023, you will not deny, you will see it. You saw it, that people contributed to political movement. People contributed their resources to get people to get to vote. People contributed money to get the CVR successful. People did that, not outside the party funding. But people lose interest when that process is truncated, when it is not transparent. A lot of things we build on when elections become transparent. Look at the local government system. Can you talk about it? 99%, now 100%, those state governors win the elections. There's no local government system in Nigeria. There's no local government election in Nigeria because, there's even a mistake in the law, what you call in the local government and state joint account. When the money is paid, the governors hold on to the money. And the state local government can't see money. Before, local government used to do market, road, small amenities. They can't do anything right now. In Ogun State, a local government chairman complained that something was happening. As I'm talking to you, SSS and DSS, and everybody's breathing down his neck. Isn't it intention? Just because he made a statement in the democratic system. Even if it's accusation, the governors can take it in a civil way. Look, we can't work Nigeria like this. If we keep on, and everybody who speaks one thing disappears, another one speaks disappears. No, the system will kill the process if the power that be is not removed for the appointing process. If look at the state. If local government elections is conducted with the 100% win, look at Edo. The man who applied that the material for conduct of election be given to him was charged 94 million. To be able to assess CTC of the document for the conduct of the local government election. The State Assembly and Co. will put up the judicial panel that will listen to that tribunal. So that instead of that, the person cannot go to court. So we must re-examine our electoral system. There's so much tight neck, there's so much hold on tight to power system that is, going about those who are in power. Look, there's the issue of enlightened self-interest, there's the issue of self-interest, but the fact is that there's a way the law will be so guided that you will find out that it will work for the interest of the masses. As far as the masses and the citizens start to see that there's a process that they can rely on, a process that is dependable, that will not manipulate the outcome, that will stand and it will be one man, one vote. As long as that starts to happen, we will find out that Nigerians will own the process.
All right. So just a quick one before you go. Are you optimistic that at the end of the day, all these challenges notwithstanding, these elections, particularly that of Kogi and Imo, will be free and fair?
I wish the INEC, tried to redeem his reputation in the eyes of the public. It's not me. You can go to the street and ask. You can do a survey. It's there, how people feel. I'm not the one who feel this way. I speak to people, I go out and I speak to a lot of people and I hear this. And you go to social media, you find out this is a perception. And most times, perception, if it's really rooted, is stronger than reality. So I think the honors it is on INEC to do what is right and conduct an election that Nigerians will start to depend on. and Nigerians and the voter party that we might experience in the forthcoming election, will be defeated in subsequent election.
All right, Peter Ame, former chairman, Inter-Party Advisory Council, thank you for coming on here today.
Thank you very much.
All right, well, back in a moment. Stay on with us.